Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of Genta Recruit in association with Job Human Capital, I warmly welcome you all to this free online workshop on New Labor Codes 2025, organized under our BRIC initiative. In short, we call it as Bridging Industry and Resource Cooperation. The introduction of this new labor law codes marks one of the most significant reforms in India's labor law framework. These changes have far-reaching implications for employees, HR professionals, compliance teams, and workers. Understanding these codes is essential not only for statutory compliance, but also for building transparent, fair, and future-ready workplaces. So we are delighted to see participants from industry, HR, legal, and academic backgrounds joining us today, which reflects the relevance and importance of this topic. So before introducing our resource person, I request Mr. Murli Kasinath sir, CEO of First Job Human Capital and Genta Recruit, to address the gathering and briefly share the vision behind BRIC initiative. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Good afternoon, everyone. It gives me a great pleasure to welcome you all today, session on New Labour Code 2025. On behalf of First Job Human Capital and Genta Recruit, I thank each one of you for being part of this important learning initiative. At First Job Human Capital, our mission is to prepare strong, skilled, and future-ready youth communities across India. We work closely with the industries to create sustainable employment pathway through workforce planning, large-scale job fairs, interview coordinations, and integrated labor force solution by combining HR experts with digital capability. We aim to support organizing candidates and community throughout their professional journey. Genta Recruit, our specialized recruitment arms, focus on high-quality hiring across IT and non-IT domain with a strong pool of verified talent and a data-driven recruitment approach. We help organizations access niche skills, leadership talent, and a critical role effectively, ensuring every hire aligns with both business goals and organization culture. Bringing these efforts together is BARC, Bridging Industries and Resource for Cooperation. BARC is our platform to connect industries requirements with the right knowledge, expertise, and resource. Through BARC, we bring practitioners, policymakers, professionals, and learners together to enable meaningful dialogue, capability building, and future readiness. Today's session reflects that the vision labor law reforms are not just regulatory changes, they influence workplace harmony, compliance, culture, and long-term organization sustainability. Understanding them is essential for responsible leadership. And here I like to thank Shanti ma'am also for supporting this initiative, and adding to that, I also thank our eminent speaker, who I know him more than a decade, who is an efficient officer in this domain, who have done an extraordinary support in implementing labor laws and the compliance across the major in government side, and he is also very well known person in across the academic side also. Thank you, sir. Thank you for supporting me for this initiative. Saravanan sir is I have to add another thing. Saravanan sir also is also part of the policy making initiative of the. He used to support both state and central government, and bigger corporate also he is supporting to bring changes internally and externally in the labor law reforms and other things. He is a very supportive person and very friendly person. You can also take his support and advice and guidance also if you need. He is open to help each individuals and organization also. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for joining and supporting our initiative. I thank all the participants also, because this forum, this BARC forum is running past two and a half years. Every month we are joining together. We bringing eminent speakers in the domain of HR, finance, technology, marketing, sales, and the idea behind that is to strengthen the industrial ecosystem. The idea behind this, single idea behind this initiative is to strengthen the industrial ecosystem, so that there should be an industrial harmony, and we all should be the part of this harmony. I thank you once again for joining us and wishing you a high informative and engaging session. Please, adding to that, I will also request to all the participants to suggest some title for the forthcoming workshop, and also suggest speaker also for forthcoming workshop. These all the speaker was been selected by our participant only. We only a platform where we are linking both the resource and the industry. Just that the work we are doing, and we are just organizing the program, and we want all the participants to actively give advice and guidance and support us to take this initiative in a bigger way. Thank you all the industrial association people who joined here, and my friends and colleagues, and the event team. Thank you all. Thank you, ma'am. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. It is now my honor to introduce our distinguished resource person, Dr. P.M. Saravanan, former Additional Commissioner of Labor, Government of Tamil Nadu. Dr. Saravanan is a senior labor law expert with over 30 years of experience in labor administration, industrial relations, enforcement, and policy implementation. He holds MA, BL, MBA, MPhil, and PhD degrees, reflecting both academic depth and professional excellence. During his tenure in the Labor Department, Government of Tamil Nadu, he functioned as quasi-judicial authority and conciliation officer. He also brings valuable industry exposure as Group IR advisor at TVS Motor Company, and is currently an advocate and consultant specializing in industrial relations, labor laws, and POSH Act compliance. In addition, he serves as a part-time faculty, contributing to professional education and capacity building. With his unique blend of government, industry, legal, and academic experience, Dr. Saravanan sir is exceptionally well positioned to guide us through the new Labour Codes 2025 with clarity and practical relevance. With a great respect, please join me in welcoming Dr. P.M. Saravanan sir. And a small request to the participants to kindly post your questions in the chat box as the session progresses. We will take them up during the Q&A session towards the end of the program. Without further delay, I hand over the session to sir. Over to you, sir, please.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody, and good afternoon, all participants. First, I would like to congratulate and extend my sincere thanks to the organizers, especially Mr. Murali Kasinath, CEO, and Mr. Madan Kumar, Head Business Development, and Madam Dr. Shanti. And I would also like to extend my great wishes for your new year and happy Pongal. So this seminar really very interested, and also it draws the attention of all stakeholders from industries, employers, employees, trade unions, workers, irrespective of the category of employment. So you know very well several industrial labor statutes, especially labor laws dating back to 1923. You know very well 1923 the WC Act was enacted. In the year 1936, there was another act was passed to regulate the payment of wages and the disbursement of wages, and also periodical payment of wages, and also wages shall not be disbursed without any unauthorized deductions. This act was passed in the year 1936. So these acts have become outdated and were no longer aligned with the contemporary realities. So, such as the digital platform, gig work, and new forms of employment were emerged. So we have a statistics about with an estimated workforce about of workforce in India. Out of 54 crores workforce, 90% of the workforce are belongs to unorganized sector. So when we traces the history of the industrial growth in India, traditionally we have started in the cottage industries, then we have converted into agricultural oriented industries, and with the emergence of the factory system, industrial revolution took place. Now we are moving to digital revolution. So then India now stood in the place of the fourth largest economy in the world. The achievement of all sustainable development goals, especially, is one way or another way dependent on gender equality, which is the goal number 5. So, closer examination of the latest labor force participation rate suggests that self-employed category of workmen saw a highest degree of growth employment generation between 2017 to 2024. With the technological advancement, the use of outsourced work is increasing in trends. It results in the emergence of the new type of employment like gig workers, platform workers, and other self-employed workers, and wage workers, and other workers working in the home. So the National Labour Commission, constituted in the year 1969 and subsequently constituted in the year 2002, has recommended consolidation and simplification of all labor laws. In compliance with the directions and guidance issued by the National Labour Commission, the labor jurisprudence has reached a significant progress and achieved a milestone by implementing new labor codes. The labor codes consolidating 29 existing labor legislations into 4 comprehensive unified codes, that is Wages Code, IR Code, Social Security Code, Occupational Safety and Health and Working Conditions Code, where other legislation both by central and state government have enacted according to the Constitution of India. Both central government and state government will have the concurrent jurisdiction in the labor matter, and these acts which are passed by the respective state governments and respective central government, which are treated to be a separate identity. Only this existing 29 labor legislation, as per the recommendations of the National Labour Commission, have been merged together and substituted as a new labor codes. So this reform is mainly as a cornerstone for enhancing workplace safety, occupational health and working conditions, gender equality, improving ease of doing business, promoting formalization of employment, fostering inclusive growth, and also aligning with the global standards. So labor codes indeed make a paradigm shift in employment regulation, blending workers' welfare with the business facilitation. The new labor codes aims at shifting enforcement towards guidance, dissemination, awareness, and compliance support rather than punitive action. You know very well the inspector name was changed to inspector come facilitator. Hereafter, inspector will not do any inspection work. They are also guiding the employer and employees to follow the legislations in a letter and spirit. Inspector cum facilitator is responsible for conducting online web-based inspection and advising employer and employees in the compliance matters. Therefore, there is a need for clarity, consistency, and institutional preparedness in the implementation of these 4 labor codes. So, in order to gain more insight and awareness on these aspects, this BRICS has conducted this seminar, and it will also be treated as a series of seminars which will enlighten the participants in acquiring knowledge on various aspects of the new labor codes. Thank you. We will go for a main agenda. First, we will see the labor codes. First labor code in the code on wages. So this code on wages was first enacted in the year 2019, where 4 legislations have been merged together. But it was taken 5 years to become a law in the 2025, and the notification was passed November 21, 2025. You know very well about that. Still, these central rules and state rules are on the verge of the completion, and also it is taking some more time, at least 45 days, to finalize the state rules and the central rules. And also there will be some delegated legislation. Both central government has to pass their rules according to the objection and suggestion received by both the employer and employees. Next slide. The Code on Wages represents transformative steps in Indian labor law landscape as part of the comprehensive labor code reform. Comprehensive labor code reforms. It consolidated multiple wage-related laws into single unified framework. This groundbreaking legislation simplifies compliance for employers while ensuring robust worker protection across all sectors. By establishing uniform wage regulation, it creates fairer, more transparent employment. So across all sector means, so hereafter the wages legislation will be applicable to both organized sector and as well as unorganized sector. You know very well, Minimum Wages Act is applicable to the only scheduled industries, where the industries are declared under the scheduled industries were employing thousand or more workers, they will be covered under the minimum wage legislations. Now the legislation will be extended to all sectors irrespective of the civil industries. There is a universal. Madan, Madan, கேக்குதா?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, it's audible, sir.
It is
Sorry.
audible.
Sorry, it's a slight distortion. Okay, so we will go for this wage code. Okay,
Yeah.
Mr. Madan. Next slide. Next slide. So as you know very well, this labor code is a important legislation. Both these four legislations are passed by the central government under various years. So the initial first legislation was 1936, and the second legislation was Payment of Bonus Act was passed in the year 1965, and Equal Remuneration was passed in the year 1976, and one more legislation, which is Minimum Wages Act, which was passed in the year 1948. So this 1936 legislations, you know very well, there are the main objectives of 1936 legislation is the periodical payment of wages with coin or currencies, and also that the payment of wages shall be paid to the individuals through electronic mode. So which is not without any unauthorized deductions. Those same provisions have been brought to this wage code, and with some slight modifications, like employees have been given more importance in the wage code. So previously it was a worker. Now the new definition of employees have been included in the wage code. And only one more important term, which is attracting all the next slide. Next. So it applies to both employers, employees, and workers, and also the contract workers, and the workers engaged by the contractors. They are all covered by this wage code. So now we will try to understand what is the wage denotes. There are there are about a lot of discussions going on about the definition of wages, where this wages definition have been given under various legislations and different interpretations have been given by various legislations. So now, in order to have a uniformity in wages, the same definition is applies to all codes, including wages code and all other three codes. So why this multiplication of interpretations and several understanding among the employers and employees? So in order to have a coherence and also uniformity, the wages definition was given more importance in all codes. The same definition which will come out again and again in all codes. What is the wages definition given under the IR code as well as the wages code and social security code and occupational safety and health and working conditions code? So these codes have been described. Wages would be the basic pay, dearness allowance, and retaining allowance will be treated as a wages component. All other allowances are treated to be a allowances component. So in short, if the allowances components are above 50%, the exceeding amount will be added back to the wages component, which will attract all social security benefits as well as gratuity payment. So recently, the government of India has also given some clarifications that social security benefit like EPF. EPF is the wages structure will be around 15,000 only. So above 15,000, the worker and management will have a optional and they can voluntarily exercise their option. Above 15,000, they can contribute. So 15,000 is the ceiling limit under the EPF Act. And also the ceiling limit for ESI Act is also 21,000. When we are restructuring the wages definition into two components like wages and allowances, the exceeding amount of allowances above 50% will be added to the wages component. So that is the important point which we have to keep in our mind. What are the allowances? Means allowances, you know very well, any bonus, value of house accommodation like HRA, and any other contribution paid to the pension provident fund or employees provident fund, conveyance allowances, any sum paid to the employees to defray special expenses, and house rent allowances, remuneration payable under award or settlement. Even the settlement says that some remuneration will be paid according to the terms and conditions of employment. That remuneration paid to in pursuant to award and settlement will also be not covered under the wages component. It will be covered under the allowances component. So the gratuity and the retrenchment compensation, these are all not comes under the wages components. Next slide. So one of the more important legislative approach is worker definition. You know very well the worker definition was under the ID Act Section 2S says that all employees, including apprentices, to do skilled, unskilled, manual, technical, operational, and including managerial personnel and who are drawing more than 10,000, not drawing more than 10,000 will be covered under the worker definition of the ID Act. The same definition was brought into force in all courts, and only the exception is supervisors drawing 18,000 will not come under the workman category. That is one of the important point which we have to keep in mind in the new definition of the workers. And the same worker definition which was appeared in the Section 2S of the ID Act, where there are 4 exemptions were given in the ID Act. The same exemption again brought forward in the new legislation also. Next. And the wage period must be, weekly, daily, weekly, fortnightly, and monthly. So what is the wage period? If anybody following daily wages, the wages must be paid at the end of the shift. And if any employer following weekly wages, they should pay the wages at the end of the last working day of the week. And if they are following fortnightly wages, they should pay the wages before the expiry of the second working day of the completion of the fortnight. And if they are following monthly wages, they should pay the wages before the expiry of the 7th working day of the succeeding month. Okay, what is the importance of this new development? Means Previously, under Payment of Wages Act, if any employer employing more than 1,000 workers, they should pay the wages before 10th of the subsequent month. And now they have been reduced to 7th, all irrespective of the number of employees in all category of employments. And one more important point which we have to keep in mind is the payment method. The payment method must be through electronic mode and should be properly paid through the electronic mode, and where the worker will have a authentication about the payment methods. Next. And the other important development which will take place in these new labor codes is the prohibition of discrimination of the gender. You know very well, gender disparity is in respect of the payment or working conditions, recruitment, or other allowances. So this should be completely prohibited by the introduction of the new concept, gender equality. So when the both women and men on transgender, new term has been introduced, transgender. So these three people are exercising same and similar functions with same knowledge, experience, and understanding, effort, experience, responsibility are the same. They should be given equal wages for equal work for same and similar nature of work. So there should not be any discrimination among both women and men employees in respect of wages, working conditions, and other allowances. Next slide. So one of the important point which we keep in mind is the national floor level wages. National floor level wages was introduced to apply the minimum wages across the continent of India, irrespective of south, north, west, and east. So when the national floor level wages was introduced, according to the difficulties involved or geographical area, no state government or any other government will not fix the wages below the national floor level wages. If any wages which is existing wages which is higher than the national floor level wages, that should be continued to apply. Even otherwise, if they are paying less than the national floor wages, they have to follow the national floor level wages in revising and fixing the minimum wages. Under the minimum wages rules, you know very well, Reptacos case in 1952, there was a clear guidance was issued how to fix the minimum wages. The same guidelines have been incorporated in the new wage rules also. So you know very well, a standard working family will be treated as 4 adult consumption units. Father and mother and 2 children will be treated as 4 adult consumption units, and their calorie intake will be treated as 2,700, and 66 meters of cloth. All other details have been already given in the code, the rules also. The same criteria which were declared under the Reptacos case 1952 have been brought into this new labor code also, new wage code. So the one more important point which we keep in mind is in the wage code, the classification was clearly given for who is unskilled, who is semi-skilled, who is skilled, and who is highly skilled. So 4 categories of skill matrix have been given by the Government of India. Any person who is fit in the skill matrix, they will be given the appropriate wages about it. Next. Another important which we have to follow is the dearness allowance. The cost of living will increase according to the price of essential commodities. So when prices of essential commodities increasing, to keep pace with the price rise, the workers' wages are also be increased by dearness allowance. The dearness allowance will be revised twice in a year. That is 1st April and 1st October of every year. So this is one of the important point which was highlighted in the new wage code. Another important point is, you know very well, the Payment of Wages Act is applicable to all employees who are drawing less than 24,000. The same the salary ceiling have been brought into the new wage code also, but they have not reduced it or not increased it. But the government is, I think the government will, when pass the rule, I think the wage ceiling will be removed, or it will be increased or decreased. So deductions means the deductions, authorized deductions, all authorized deductions must not be more than 50% of the total wages. This is the important development in the
wages code, and the recovery shall be made in such installments so as to all installments in a wage period shall not exceed 50% of the total wages of the employee in that wage period, and the particulars of such recovery shall be recorded in the register maintained for that purpose, and the employer has to maintain the register for deductions in respect of the each and every employee. So in case if there is a deduction for losses or damages to the properties, all such deductions and realization thereof shall be recorded in the separate register. Employee shall be given opportunity being heard. For any punishment or any imposition of the fine, if you are going to give against the employee, you should be given the opportunity under the principles of natural justice to the employees before imposing punishment or as well deductions or fines, etc. The gross profit, as you know very well, eligibility of a bonus. The bonus payment of bonus tax already there is a provision that payment of bonus tax will not be applicable to the employees who are drawing more than 21,000 rupees. The ceiling has not been removed so far, and the same ceiling is continuous now also. And you know very well the minimum bonus is 8.33% and the maximum bonus is maximum bonus 20%. Okay, according to section 10 and 11 of the existing payment of bonus tax, the same provision have been brought into the new wage code also. And one more important development under bonus is next slide. So only one point I have left in the bonus. So bonus, there is a disqualification section under section 9 of the existing payment of bonus tax. Disqualification means if any worker were terminated for riotous or disorderly behavior or any other offences involving moral turpitude, the bonus will not be paid to the worker who has been dismissed from services on account of these 4 occasions. Now, one more occasion has been added in this code. Conviction of sexual offences, those who are convicted under sexual offences under POSH Act, they will not be get bonus. This is an important point which we have to keep in mind. Next slide. IR code. This IR code is a very important code where we have to follow all the basic materials which we have brought from 3 important legislations. You know very well these 3 important legislations have been passed by the government of India. All these 3 legislations are centralized legislations. One is the Industrial Dispute Act, another one is the Trade Union Act, another one is the Industrial Employment Standing Orders Act. This Trade Union Act was passed in the year 1926 and Industrial Dispute Act was passed in the year 1947 and Industrial Employment Standing Orders have been passed in the year 1946 to make employer and employee to work in a congenial atmosphere and also make them in a conducive relationship. So in order to make a good employer and employee relationship and also make them more amicable, these changes, several changes have been made in the existing labor legislations, and the new code has been notified by the government of India. This new code is called IR code. So by combining these 3 important legislations. Next. So one of the important point which we have to keep in mind, industrial dispute. What is the industrial dispute? The industrial dispute definition was given under ID Act under section 2K and the 2A. Now it has been combined together and year after it will be treated as a single definition. Single definition means any difference between employer and employees in respect of the employment, non-employment, terms of employment, and also includes dismissal, discharge, termination of employment, or any other matter which is connected with the service. So there is a simplification of definition which was given under the new labor code. And as I told in my previous talks, the worker definition has been changed. So you know very well under section 2S, the worker definition was all employees including apprentice to do skilled, unskilled, manual, technical, operational, and supervisors drawing more than 10,000 rupees. This is the existing definition under ID Act section 2S. But now new IR code has slightly changed the definition into the supervisors drawing more than 18,000 will not be come under the worker definition. Next slide. So this one of the important points which we have to keep in mind in the IR code is this. one important term which was introduced in the fixed term employment. You know very well fixed term employment. What is the fixed term employment? If the fixed term employees are given or appointment on contract basis by written contract, they will be continue the work till the specific period where they have agreed to. And when specific period or contractual period is come to an end, they will be automatically terminated from services. Those will not be treated as a retrenchment. So retrenchment is not supposed to be termination of employment of the fixed term employees. But provided these fixed term employees should be given same wages, same allowances, same working conditions, and all other benefits on par with the permanent employees, and also they are eligible for the statutory benefits like bonus, gratuity according to the pro rata basis. So this is one of the important point which was introduced in the new IR code. And this industry definition which was given under section 2J of the Industrial Dispute Act after 1982, the industry definition has underwent vast changes because this 1978 Rajappa and others cases has given more guidelines about the industrial definition. This industry definition was changed in the year 1982 under Industrial Dispute Act, and there was a lot of confusion among the various stakeholders. What is considered to be industry? What is not considered to be industry? Whether charitable institution is industry, hospital is industry, or club is industry, or chartered accountant office is industry, or any government department which is running on commercial basis, whether it is treated to be industry. For all the confusions have been raised after implementation of 1982 definition, and this has come to the clarity now. The industry definition was clearly given by the new IR code, which is described as any systematic activity carried on between the cooperation of employer and employees to supply human needs and wishes. This is the important definition which was given under the new IR code, and this definition was taken from Rajappa and others, Bangalore Water Supply and Sewage Board case, 1978 Supreme Court case. So this industry definition came into clarity now, and we have to follow this definition in the new IR code only. And there are two bipartite committees which has to be formed by the each and every industries. You know very well the last IR legislations have the same provision. The same provision again replicated in the new IR code, that is the Works Committee and the Grievance Redress Committee. And these two committees are very important to make the employees participate in the important decision making, like day-to-day administration of their under physical conditions of work and other important measures, not like long-term settlement. Long-term settlement will be provided only through the collective bargaining method only. Okay. And then another important points in under IR code is this is certified standing orders. Certified standing order means you know very well the standing orders, when it come into implementation, the management has to follow the model standing orders for 6 months. If the management wants to adopt the model standing orders, they can adopt the model standing order, and the model standing order will become the deemed certification of the standing orders. This provision is a new provision introduced in the standing orders. When they are not aligned with the model standing orders, they have to prepare new draft standing orders, and they should approach the certifying authority for certification of the new draft standing orders. Another important development under the new IR code is this multiplication of the dispute settlement machinery, where you can come across the Court of Inquiry and the Board of Conciliation and Labor Court, Industrial Tribunal, National Tribunal, there and Conciliation Officer from section 4 to section 7B. There are multiple adjudicating bodies are existing in the earlier legislations. Now it has been reduced to two adjudicating bodies. That is, one is the Industrial Tribunal, another one is the National Tribunal. Recently, Government of India has passed one clarification, that is the removal of doubts when cases have been transferred from the existing labor court to the Industrial Tribunal. Till the transition period, the labor court will continue to follow the all cases, not to create any vacuum in the judicial process. When the new industrial tribunal is formed under new IR code, all the cases will be transferred to the new setup, and which will hear the case from the stage at which it was finished, or otherwise de novo hearing. Another important point which we have to keep in mind, the industrial dispute. When industrial dispute exists, no worker can go on strike, and no employer can declare lockout. So similarly, the strike is also slightly changed. When 50% or more workmen went on mass casual leave, this will be treated as a strike. So earlier definition, which was given under section 2P of the ID Act, have been carried forward in the new IR code, and the slight modification which was introduced with the strike definition. 50% or more workmen went on mass casual leave, this will be treated as a strike. And other points which were given under earlier definition, the same has been brought forward in the new IR code also. And employees under section 2A earlier, they can raise the dispute for dismissal, discharge, and retrenchment or termination of employment within 2 years from the date of the cause of action. Now they can, within 3 years, they can raise the dispute from the date of cause of action. Now they can raise the dispute within 2 years from the date of cause of action. So this is another important development. And one more important development which we have to keep in mind is for layoff, retrenchment, and closure. Previously, under chapter 5B, the employer has to apply the appropriate government for approval for layoff, retrenchment, and closure under section 25M-NO. Now it has been prescribed under section 78, 79, 80, 300. The threshold limit has been increased to 300 or more. Below 300, there will not be any approval petition. And one more important development which is under the new IR code is the government has the power to refer the dispute or decline to refer the dispute, which was raised under section 2K general demand. Now the government has no power to refer or not to refer the dispute on filing the industrial dispute before the conciliation officer. When conciliation officer is going to commence the conciliation proceedings, he has to finish the conciliation proceedings within 45 days. After 45 days, the worker or trade union or any other party to the dispute can take the matter to the appropriate judicial forum like industrial tribunal or national tribunal without waiting for the failure report. This is another important definition. Next. So trade union, as per the trade union, you know very well, the collective bargaining will be successful only when we are recognizing trade union. So there is no, as such, there is no any provision in the Trade Union Act for recognition of the trade union. There is a provision only for registration of trade union. Now it has been given that in case of any union which is functioning in an industrial establishment, having 51% of the more workmen under their membership, they will be declared as a sole bargaining agent, and they will be treated as a sole bargaining agent. And with that union, the management will conduct a collective bargaining and a negotiation and to finalize the long-term settlement. So this will facilitate the management and the union to have a fair and reasonable collective bargaining, and also to maintain congenial atmosphere, and also to make the industrial peace and harmony by entering into the long-term settlement without any disturbances or work stoppages. Next. So as I told earlier, this new feature was introduced, that 300 or more workers threshold limit, 300 or more workers introduced because the formalization of employment, because more workers are comes under the purview of the industrial dispute or industrial regulations, they will be having a lot of redressal grievances, and grievances procedure will become more easy, and they will be treated as a workman on par with the regular workman. So this creates a formalization of employment Previously, the workers will not be given informal workforce and formal workforce in the same establishment. They will be now all the people will be treated as a same workforce, and they will be given same status. Next. So that I have already pointed out this. There are two important bipartite bodies in each and every organization. You know very well, Works Committee and Grievance Redressal Committee. The Works Committee, how you are electing the Works Committee members, are given the rules also. The same rules will be applicable to the new IR code also. This Grievance Redressal Committee is also compulsorily to be formed when the establishment engaging 20 or more workmen. The conciliation process, when conciliation process concludes. So when conciliation process starts, where a conciliation officer receives any strike notice, when he conducts the first sitting of the conciliation, when he started the first sitting of conciliation, then conciliation will be started. And the conciliation ended when he records failure report or send the 12-3 settlement or bipartite settlement. So when he arrived at a settlement between the employer and employees by the intervention of the conciliation officer, then conciliation will come to an end. Next. Strikes, already you know very well, the strike notice has to be compulsorily given in public utility services, like 6 weeks strike notice and 14 days strike notice. When the employees or trade unions give strike notice, before 14th day they cannot go on strike, and after 6 weeks they cannot go on strike under section 22 of the Industrial Dispute Act. Now it has been modified into 14 days and 60 days. Instead of 6 weeks, 60 days has been given. And one more important development is strike notice shall be given all industries irrespective of the public utility services and non-public utility services. Next. So now I've already explained about this same concept: layoff, retrenchment, and closure. What is layoff? What is retrenchment? What is closure? All the definitions have been brought forward from existing ID legislation, ID Act, like section 200, 2 K, and 2 RR. The same definition again been brought into the new IR code under section 2, which is the same definition was given under new IR code also, and there is no change in the definition part. And one of the important inclusion in the retrenchment is so any termination of employment on account of the expiry of the contract will not be treated as a retrenchment, or termination of the employment on account of the continued ill health will not be treated as a retrenchment, or termination of employment on account of the expiry of the fixed time employment will not be treated as a retrenchment. These are all the important points, so we should keep in mind while dealing with the layoff, retrenchment, and closure. Only the change is 300 or more workmen. Threshold limit has been changed from 100 to 300. Next. So this important point for creating the new IR code is to make more easy compliance, and also workers or management as well as to give more important for the multiplicity of these various adjudicating bodies have been reduced, and hereafter dispute resolution will become so easy. So this is an important point which we have to keep in mind. Next. So this code of social security, you know very well that the social security is in case of any workman due to loss of employment, old age, sickness, or accident arising out of or in the course of employment, there should be given some social security benefit. This social security benefit, initially it was applied only to the organized industry workers. Now the social security is taking care of the unorganized industry workers like gig workers, platform workers, and home-based workers, and self-employed workers. So this is the social security, which is the main purpose of the social security. Social security is as I told in my opening session, we have a 50 crores of workforce. Out of this, 90% of the people are engaged in the organized sector, and 90% of people engaged in the unorganized sector. Only 10% of people are engaged in the organized sector. These organized sector people are covered under the various social security legislations like ESA, PF, maternity benefit, and payment of gratuity, and all other legislations, and Workman Compensation Act. But what about this social security benefit for the unorganized workers like home-based workers or gig workers and platform workers? And all these sector have been continuously left unnoticed because of this. There is no employer and employer relationship, and they have a work arrangement to work under the and not under the particular employer, and they can work on their own convenient. So this social security code is a much important legislation which will cover all unorganized workers also and make them viable to access the all social security benefits. Next. This social security code combines 9 different legislations which were enacted 1923. 1923 legislation is Employees Compensation Act. 1946 legislation, 1948 legislation is ESI Act. 1952 is the EPF Act, and this Maternity Benefit Act is 1951, and Payment of Gratuity Act was passed in the year 1972. So from the spanning from 10 decades, this social security legislation is taking place both by central and state government passing the various legislations in order to make the workers more access to the social security benefits. But the recent introduction of the new type of workers like gig workers and platform workers and home-based workers, so they should be brought under the social security net. So taking into consideration of the seriousness of the social security problem for the unorganized workers, the social security code is giving thrust on the provision of the new social security for the unorganized workers also. Next. So social security, when we consider the social security legislations, the screen you can see what are all the social security legislations which are at present in force and how they have been converted into single code. So you can view these legislations. And one of the important point which we have to keep in mind is the Maternity Benefit Act. Maternity Benefit Act, you know very well, 26 weeks leave shall be given for prenatal and postnatal benefit of the women workers, and they should not be allowed to work nearby the arduous nature of work during the pregnancy and after the delivery or miscarriage or any other illness arising out of birth of a child. They should not be allowed to work till 6 weeks of the delivery period. These are the provisions where exist in the Maternity Benefit Act. The same provisions again have been brought into the new Social Security Code. And one of the important point which is changed is medical bonus. Medical bonus should be given 3,500, and maximum ceiling is 20,000. Now the 20,000 ceiling was removed, and whatever the amount the employer can pay towards the medical bonus. And what is the fund? How to manage this fund of social security means the fund is mainly from employer and employee contribution, and another fund from drawing from corporate social responsibility fund, and the government grants and budgets will be the base for the funding of the social security scheme of all employees. And this fixed term employees will also be provided with the gratuity payment, or even if they are working 1 year or more, they will be provided with the gratuity on pro rata basis. Next. So the definition of a gig worker and a platform worker, all other definitions are the academic part of this seminar. And if you want more on this, they can have a separate session for that. And important points which you have to keep in mind is ESA Act. ESA Act is applicable to all industries employing 10 or more workers. And now there is one important change which was introduced on the new Social Security Code. Is the Social Security Code is applicable to all hazardous industries, even if they are employing 1 or more workers. This is the important change. And another important change is the Social Security Code is applicable to all industries, even if they are employing less than 10 workers, and the management and the worker is voluntarily out for the coverage under the ESI code. They can voluntarily out for the coverage of ESI code. And another important point under Social Security Code is there is one important term which was introduced under Social Security Code is the career center. The management, the career center should be started with the information about the vacancies, number of vacancies by the notified by the management, and job seekers' address and their qualification, and what are all the guidance they are requiring for the vocational guidance, and self-employment. For self-employment, what are all the important points they need from the career center. This is the career center which should be compulsorily formed in each and every district for giving information about the job seekers and those who are want to job. These are all the important development which we have to keep in mind. Career center. So another important point, Building and Other Construction Workers Act. You know very well already the Building and Other Construction Workers Act was passed by the government in 1996. Same act has been given in the OSH code also. Next. So this is the universal applicability to all workers, including organized, unorganized workers, as well as home-based workers, to cover under the Social Security Code. So the government, state government, and central government have formed various welfare boards for various unorganized workers and giving various welfare schemes like maternity benefit, marriage benefit, and accident benefit, death benefit, disablement benefit. All the same benefits will be extended to all organized workers and unorganized workers. And the WC Act, as you know very well, what are all the quantum of compensation in case of permanent total disablement and permanent partial disablement. Same criteria is being applicable to the new Social Security Code also. And in case of death, 50% of the wages shall be given by multiplied by the relevant factor. And in case of permanent total disablement, 60% of wages multiplied by the relevant factor. The same formula has been adopted in the new Social Security Code. Next. So insurance benefit in case of loss of employment due to the accident arising out of or in the course of employment or any other loss of breadwinner in the family or income loss or loss of employment due to old age, sickness. So this Social Security Code will provide the benefits for in the case of this major problems arising out of this kind of situations. Next. So under the new economy, we have to give more thrust on these unorganized workers also. That as you know very well, our GDP is depends upon the unorganized workforce, and their contribution is much important for the national economy. And if you are giving more importance to the unorganized workforce, they will be satisfied, and also they will be contributing towards the national economic growth, and the GDP will also increase. Next. So already we have various welfare boards in Tamil Nadu. There are 18 welfare boards are functioning, and similarly at national level there is a National Social Security Board is functioning, and the same setup is again coming into the picture under the new Social Security Code. Next. Aggregator. So now I told about, I have already explained about what are all the contributions for the Social Security Fund. So that is one employer contribution, employee contribution, and government grants and budgets. One more contribution is aggregator. Who is aggregator? Aggregator means he is arranging a meeting between buyer and seller, or service provider and user. So he is bridging the gap between the service provider and user, and the buyer and the seller. So he is an intermediary working in a marketplace, and where he is using his knowledge to connect the buyer and the user. Okay, this aggregator has to contribute 2 to 5% of the annual turnover towards the Social Security Fund. Next. The compliance framework also becomes very easy, and inspector will become inspector come facilitator, and they will be declared as a inspector come facilitator, and electronic returns and files are very comprehensive, and hereafter you have to file all electronic returns and forms through electronic mode only. So it will be streamlined procedure to enable the employers and employees to make use of this development under new Social Security Code, and compliance will become more easy. Next. So this is another important landmark development under new codes, where we are taking care of all workers irrespective of the sector of industries, and the compliance will become more easy, and better employer and employee relationship, and there will not be any work disturbances because of this non-payment of wages, non-payment of the bonus, non-payment of the Social Security benefit. Next. Next important code is Occupational Safety, Health and Working Conditions Code. This code is combining and aggregating 13 important labor legislations, where the working conditions have been prescribed for each and every sector of the industry, like a plantation, BD and cigar establishment, factories, and motor transport workers, and mines. All industries wise, there is a separate safety, welfare, and health facilities have been given under various labor legislations. The Plantation Labor Act is taking care of the plantation workers. Motor Transport Workers Act is taking care of the motor transport workers, and BD and cigar workers is taking care of the BD workers who are rolling BDs in their dwelling houses, and as well as industrial workers in the BD establishment. So these 13 registrations have made a lot of confusion among the stakeholders, and which are combining together to form a single legislation for easy compliance and easy implementation both by employer and employees. What are all the important features under new OSH code? This OSH code provides for a single registration rather than multiple registration. So there is a lot of registration procedures. It's a complicated and cumbersome procedure. Now it has been come down, and a single registration is enough for a factory or establishment. One of the important points which we have to make in our mind is that this OSH registration is applicable to all industry establishments engaging 10 or more workers. 10 or more workers. Industry establishment means industry establishment, mines, plantations, and motor transport undertakings, and this BD and industrial cigar undertakings. And so this definition has resulted in some confusion among the stakeholders, where the definition of factory was changed. Actually, the factory definition was given 10 or more workers with power and 20 or more workers without power. Now it has been changed into 20 or more workers with power and 40 or more workers without power. The definition was changed for factories. And the important point which we have to keep in mind is the appointment letter is compulsory under new OSH code. Appointment letter is compulsory, where employee can prove his employment in case of dismissal, discharge, termination, or retrenchment, or any other termination So the working hours, women working hours have been slightly modified, and they can work doing the night shift also. It between 7 p.m. and 6 a.m. and provided they should be given some safety measures, and with their consent, they will be allowed to work in the night shift. And this OHS code has prescribed certain duties and responsibilities for both employers and employees, and with regard to health, safety, welfare, and occupational working conditions. So, what are all the important guidelines and also important instructions under duties and responsibilities of the both employer and employees have been given under the new OSS code. And one important point which we have to keep in mind, in case of fatal accident, this fine amount has been increased, imprisonment up to 2 years, and 5 lakh rupees fine was given under the new OSH code. If the fine is not exceeding, fine is more than 5 lakh rupees, means the second and subsequent accounts they will be given more punishment up to 10 lakhs. And out of this fine amount, 50% of the fine amount can be given as a compensation to the employee, affected employee. And one more important under OSH code is the contract labor. Who is the contract labor? Contractor means they are engaged by contractor for a temporary period for the employer, and who are working to undertake given result for the principal employer for a temporary period. So they will be treated as a contract labor, and the contract labor will be engaged only in the non-core activities and not in core activities. And non-core activities has been given under the new OSH code, like housekeeping, security, canteen, all are not to be treated as a core activity. These activities are treated to be a non-core activity where we can engage contract labor. So this has been new development under new OSH code. And one more important point which we have to keep in mind is that when contractors engaging their own workman who is covered under the standard mutual agreements like social security payments and regular payments, all other benefits, if the contractor engage a workman by covering all these aspects, they will not be treated as a contractman. They will be treated as a contractor workman, and they will be treated as a permanent workman of contractor. And this is the important point which was introduced under the new OSH code. And new OSH code also taking care of the film workers, like non-film, feature film workers, television workers, and talk shows, reality shows, and new audio-visual workers are all covered under the new OSH code, and they will be given all benefits under the new benefits under the new OSH code. So interstate migrant workmen, this definition has also be changed actually. Interstate migrant workmen, those who are employed by the employer, principal employer, where wages not exceeding 18,000, they will be treated as a interstate migrant workman. If any interstate migrant workman are employed by the employer whose wages exceeding 18,000, they will not be treated as a interstate migrant. They will not be treated as interstate migrant workman. They will be treated as a own employee of the principal employer. So the wage ceiling was given under the new OSH code. So with this, I am going to conclude my address, and back to Madan.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir, for the enriching presentation. We have few questions, sir. Can I just?
Yes, madam.
Yes, sir. Can I take it forward?
Yes, madam.
Yes, sir. So we have a question from Mr. Nagarajan.
Yes.
He says he's asking, what about implications in income tax when the HRE is not a wages?
Okay. Okay, HR is not wages, means the income tax already have a stipulation that HR will be deducted from the deductions from the for the rebate column under the HR, house rent allowance will be deducted subject to the minimum of 20%. So that is separate legislation. IT Act is separate legislation, but we will not be come under the wages definition as given under the wages legislation of the other legislations. So IT Act will take into own course of action when they exceed their slab system.
Okay.
Next,
Okay.
madam.
Yes, sir. So the second question I have from HR of GEM Hospital, Chennai,
Okay.
says 50% of basic wage will be calculated from the gross salary of CTC.
CTC recently one article comes in a leading news magazine where we need not to follow the CTC. CTC means it is a flexible and keep on changing, and one workman will get the production incentive, another workman will not get a production incentive. One workman will be a OT, another workman will not get OT, and one workman will be free rental quarters, another workman will not get the free rental quarters, and this CTC will be keep on changing. But this wages definition gives only the clarity about what are all the allowances which are keeping outside the purview of wages and which are to be treated as wages. That's the clarity is already given under the wages definition, which will be applicable to all codes.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. And we have one more question. How to calculate DA percentage in gross salary is one of the question given by Mr. Abraham.
So DA is, if you are calculating varied DA or fixed DA means, so DA is calculated according to the cost of living index number, and the government is passing the GO for every year to revise the DA amount. So now the DA going to be revised once and twice in a year according to the cost of living index number. So the DA is purely depends upon the consumer price index number, and the management can give the more DA above the government fixed DA. Thank you, madam.
Okay, sir. And there's a question from Mr. Sampath. He says, could we revise the salary as per 50% of basic wages? And 50% of basic wages. Could we revise the salary?
You can revise the salary. Means you can revise the salary. You can refix the salary according to the new norms.
Okay. And there's one more question. Can you please share the national floor wage limit?
National floor wages, now the government is fixing 18,000, I think so. But it will be changed soon according to new rules.
Yes, sir. And there's one question. It was noted that if salary above rupees 18,000 will not come under workers, is that 18,000 is basic plus DA or gross?
18,000 is basic DA only. Basic DA and retaining allowance.
Okay, basic DA and retaining. Okay. And as for the gratuity is applicable for workers who are completing first year. Is it applicable for all kind of workers or employees, or for any specific kind of employees?
No. Gratuity Act already says, 1972 Gratuity Act already says, any worker was terminated from service after completing 5 years of continuous service, they should be given compulsorily gratuity. Okay.
Right, sir.
If the management is employing 10 or more workers. Now it has been changed. If any fixed term employees completing 1 year of service, after the 1 year of service and any number of years, whatever it may be, they will be given gratuity according to pro rata basis.
Okay, sir. Yes, sir. And there's one question. Will statutory benefits like gratuity, PF, leave encashment, and notice pay be settled fully during layoff?
Yes, layoff, you should know the difference between layoff and retrenchment. Layoff is, there is no any disconnection between the employer and employee. Layoff is just means that they have to shortage of power, raw materials and coal. They will be temporarily suspend the work, and the worker will be given again when the situation improves. They will be given back employment.
Right, sir. Sir, yeah, we have got a lot of compliments and a lot of positive feedbacks of the session.
Very good, madam.
Sir.
Thank you, madam.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for your opportunity given me for this
Sorry, I just have one question from my side. What challenges do organization face in transitioning to the new labor code?
Okay, madam. My first advice is the management and the people who are connected with the HR and IR people. They should undergo some vigorous training and about what are all the implications, financial implications, the HR implications, employment implications, and job pattern, restructuring of wages. All the aspects they should be given deep understanding and insight, and they should be sent to any training program for 1 day or 2 days. Thereafter, they will be enlightened other people under their control.
All right, sir. So thank you so much, sir. Murli, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for the useful session, sir.
Thank
And
you.
irrespective of this technical glitch and all those things, you came forward and you taken printout in your hand and you have done it a greater way, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. It is a great useful for our community also, sir, HR community, where largely we have participated in this workshop. Thank you very much, sir.
So I want to have a feedback from other participants also. Thank you very much, and I wish you all of you have a great future, and wish you have a bright and prosperous new year and a happy Pongal.
Thank you.
Thank you. So shall I close this? Hello?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. As we come to the conclusion of this insightful session, sir, I would like to just propose a vote of thanks to all the people. On behalf of Genta Recruit and Purge of Human Capital, I extend our sincere gratitude to Dr. P.M. Saravanan, sir, for sharing his vast knowledge and practical insights on new labor code. Sir, the clarity, depth, and real-world perspective have greatly helped us understand the intent and implications of these landmark reforms. I also thank all the participants for their active presence and thoughtful questions, which made today's session truly engaging and meaningful. A special word of appreciation goes to the organizing team for the dedicated efforts in making this program a successful and a big initiative. And as we come to the approach the new year, I would like to take a moment to extend my warm wishes to all of you on behalf of FirstJob and Genta Recruit. May the coming year bring good health, professional growth, compliance, excellence, and continued success to you and to your organization. Thank you once again. We look forward to association in our future knowledge sessions. Request all the participants to kindly fill in the feedback form. The link is provided in the chat, please. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, madam.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Madan.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.